Have you ever noticed how people's eyes change when you tell them what you do? Some smile, some judge, some compare, and some pretend to care. But deep inside, you feel something heavy. You wonder if you said too much. You wonder if you gave away a part of yourself that should have stayed safe. We live in a world where people ask, "What do you do?" as if your answer defines your entire worth. And many of us, without thinking, give them our deepest truth, our dream, our struggle, our path. But maybe, just maybe, that is a mistake. Because the moment you tell people what you do, they create a picture of you in their mind. They put you in a box. They compare you with others. They judge you, even if they smile on the outside. And sometimes their words, their doubts, or even their silence can steal your energy, your motivation, your fire. Have you ever felt this way? Comment if you've ever felt this way. This video is not about hiding who you are. It is about protecting your power. It is about understanding why silence can be stronger than words, and why mystery can sometimes be your greatest shield. By the end of this journey, you will see the truth. That you don't need to tell people what you do, because your actions, your growth, and your results will speak louder than any explanation you give. Chapter 1. The first time I learned this lesson, it did not come from a book. It came from life. I was young, and I was full of dreams. I wanted to share everything with the people around me. When someone asked me, "What do you do?" I answered with excitement. I told them my plans, my ideas, my goals. I thought they would support me. I thought they would cheer for me. But instead, I saw doubt in their eyes. They smiled, but I could feel it. They did not believe in me. Some even laughed quietly. That laugh stayed with me for years. It was not loud, but it was sharp. It cut my confidence. It made me question myself. That day, I realized something important. People will not always understand your dream. People will not always believe in you. And sometimes, they do not want you to rise higher than them. When you share your path too soon, you give them a chance to throw stones at it. And every stone is heavy. Every word of doubt can become a weight on your back. That is why silence can be powerful. That is why you must keep some parts of your journey hidden. Think about it. When a seed is placed in the ground, it is not shown to the world right away. It grows in the dark. It grows in silence. It gathers strength under the soil where no one can touch it. Only after it becomes strong does it rise to the light. Your dream is like that seed. If you expose it too early, before it is strong, people's words can crush it. But if you let it grow in silence, one day it will rise, and no one will be able to stop it. I used to think that sharing everything made me honest and open. But honesty does not mean telling everyone your plans. Honesty means being true to yourself. And being true to yourself sometimes means protecting your dream like treasure. You would not leave your treasure on the street for anyone to touch. You would keep it safe until the right time. Your dream is more valuable than gold. Why give it away so cheaply with a few careless words? Let me ask you something. Have you ever told someone your big goal, and instead of encouragement, they gave you doubt? They said, "That is too hard. That is not possible. That is not for you." And did those words stay in your head? Did they make you weaker? If yes, then you understand. This is why you must learn the art of silence. Not silence of fear, but silence of strength. When I stopped telling people what I was doing, I felt a new power. I no longer needed their approval. I no longer waited for their reaction. I worked quietly. I struggled alone. I fell, but no one saw me fall. I rose, and no one laughed. And when I finally succeeded, the results spoke louder than anything I could have said. People did not ask me, "What do you do?" anymore. They saw it with their own eyes. My success became my answer. This is the secret I want you to feel in your heart today. You do not need to explain your journey. You do not need to prove yourself with words. Your work, your results, your growth will prove everything. Keep your plans in your heart. Keep your vision in your soul. Protect it like fire in the night. Do not let anyone blow it out with careless words. And remember this: people can only attack what they see. If they do not know, they cannot touch it. If they do not hear it, they cannot judge it. When you move in silence, you move with freedom. You grow without chains. You rise without fear. So, let your silence be your shield. Let your actions be your voice. And when the time is right, let your success be so bright that no one can deny it. That is the power of never telling people what you do. Chapter 2. There is a strange truth about people. Many will ask you, "What do you do?" But they do not really want to understand. They are not asking because they care about your dream. They are asking because they want to measure you. They want to compare. They want to put you in a box so they can feel safe about their own life. And if your answer makes them feel small, they will try to make you feel small too. That is why you must be careful. That is why silence protects your heart. I remember when I first started building something for myself. I was excited, and I told people around me. I thought they would celebrate. But the truth shocked me. Some people I loved gave me no support. Some gave me fake smiles. Others gave me advice that was not advice at all. They tried to pull me down, not lift me up. Their words made me question my path. Their doubts made me weaker. At night, I replayed their voices in my head. It was painful. It slowed me down. But then I learned something powerful. Their reaction was not about me. It was about them. When people see you doing something they cannot do, it makes them uncomfortable. Your courage reminds them of their fear. Your dream reminds them of the dream they gave up. So instead of saying, "I admire you," they say, "It is impossible." Instead of saying, "Go for it," they say, "It will never work." They try to kill your dream because your dream shows them their own weakness. That is why silence is a form of strength. When you do not tell them, they cannot attack you. When you do not share, they cannot judge. You are free to grow without carrying their fear on your shoulders. This is not hiding. This is protecting. Just like a mother protects her child, you must protect your dream until it is ready to walk. Let me tell you something very important. Your energy is limited. Every day you wake up with a small amount of energy inside you. If you spend that energy fighting people's doubts, you will have nothing left for your dream. But if you keep your dream quiet, your energy stays with you. You use it for work. You use it for growth. You use it to keep moving forward. This is how silence saves you. And here is the surprise. The less you speak, the more powerful you become. When you stop explaining yourself, people become curious. They wonder what you are building. They wonder why you are so focused. They wonder why you do not waste time talking. And then one day, your results appear. You succeed. You rise. And the same people who once doubted you will be the first to ask, "How did you do it?" There is a saying, "Never let your right hand know what your left hand is doing." It means keep your actions private. Work quietly. Let only you and your heart know the truth. Because when you tell everyone, you give them control. But when you stay silent, the control stays with you. And this control is your power. Think about history. Many of the greatest people did not announce their plans to the world. They worked in silence. They built their vision step by step without asking for permission. And when the world finally saw their work, it was too late to stop them. You can do the same. You can choose silence until your success is too big to ignore. So the next time someone asks you, "What do you do?" take a breath. Smile gently. You do not need to explain. You can say, "I am working on myself." That is enough. You do not owe them details. You do not owe them your soul. Keep your path in your heart. Protect it like fire in the night. Because if you let others touch it, they may put it out. Remember this line deeply. Not everyone deserves to know your story. Not everyone is worthy of your truth. Some people are only meant to watch your success, not to hear your plan. And when you learn this, you become unstoppable. You move with peace. You move with power. You rise without asking anyone for permission. So today, promise yourself this: I will protect my dream. I will not waste energy on doubters. I will not tell people what I do. I will let my actions speak for me. I will let my results become my answer. Chapter 3. When you tell people what you do, you give them power. It may not look like power, but it is. Because the moment they know your plan, they hold it in their hands. Some will keep it safe, but many will crush it without mercy. They may not even mean to, but their words, their looks, their silence can take away the strength you need to keep going. That is why silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. I remember a time when I told a friend about a small goal I had. It was not big. It was not impossible. It was just something important to me. I shared it with excitement. But instead of support, he said, "Why would you do that? That is useless. You should try something else." His words were simple, but they stayed with me for weeks. Every time I worked on my goal, I heard his voice in my mind. I began to doubt myself. I began to think maybe he was right. And in the end, I stopped. I killed my own dream because I let someone else's doubt become louder than my belief. That is the danger of telling people what you do. You invite their doubts into your mind, and once they enter, they are hard to push out. You start fighting battles you never needed to fight. You start carrying weights that were never yours to carry. And slowly, your dream becomes smaller. But when you keep quiet, everything changes. When no one knows your plan, no one can attack it. No one can laugh at it. No one can plant seeds of doubt inside you. You are free to believe fully. You are free to fail quietly. You are free to rise without anyone watching. And this freedom gives you strength. Think of a bird learning to fly. If every eye is watching, the bird becomes afraid. What if I fall? What if I look weak? But if no one is watching, the bird can fall many times without shame. It can try again and again until its wings are strong. You are like that bird. You need the space to grow in silence. You need the freedom to fall without fear. Do not give that freedom away by telling the world too soon. Here is a truth you must remember. People are quick to speak, but slow to act. Many of them have never built anything. Many of them have given up on their dreams. So when they see you trying, they project their weakness onto you. They tell you it cannot be done because they could not do it. They tell you to stop because they stopped long ago. But you are not them. Your life is not their life. Your path is not their path. So why give them the key to control your future? This is why you must move quietly. Do the work in the dark. Do the work when no one is looking. And when you succeed, let the results be your answer. Because nothing silences doubt like success. Nothing shuts mouths like achievement. Nothing speaks louder than results. I want you to think about this right now. Imagine a fire burning inside you. It is small, but bright. If you tell people too soon, it is like opening the window in a storm. The wind can blow it out. But if you keep it safe, if you protect it in silence, it will grow bigger. It will become strong. And one day, it will be so bright that nothing can put it out. That is the gift of silence. That is the power of never telling people what you do. So, the next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, stop. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, does this person really care? Will this person protect my dream? If the answer is no, keep it to yourself. Work in peace. Work in silence. Work with love for your own journey. Because the world does not need your words right now. The world needs your results. And here is the most beautiful part. When you stop explaining, you stop seeking permission. You no longer wait for people to say, yes, that is good. You no longer need their approval to move forward. You move because you decide. You rise because you choose. You succeed because you kept your dreams safe until it was ready to shine. So never forget this. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of strength. Silence is your shield. And your work, your life, your success will become the loudest voice in the end. Chapter 4. There is something inside every human being that is very fragile. It is the beginning of a dream. It is that first small spark of hope that tells you maybe life can be different. Maybe you can grow. Maybe you can build something new. This spark is soft. It is like a candle in the dark, strong enough to give light to your heart, but weak enough to be blown out by a single breath. And often, the people around you can blow it out without even knowing. That is why you must learn to protect it. That is why you must learn to stay quiet in the early stages of your journey. When you first start walking toward your dream, you are not yet strong. Your steps are small. Your faith is still building. If someone pushes you, you may fall. If someone laughs, you may stop. If someone says, "It will never work," you may believe them. That is why silence is not just a choice. It is a shield. Silence keeps the wrong voices away while you build your strength. Silence gives you space to grow without the noise of judgment. I want you to remember something important. People cannot kill what they do not know. If you do not give them your plan, they cannot break it. If you do not share your steps, they cannot trip you. You are safe in your silence. You are free in your silence. And from that freedom, you gain the courage to keep going. I have seen so many people stop because they told their dream too early. They wanted applause, but instead they got silence. They wanted support, but instead they got doubt. They wanted love, but instead they got jealousy. And because of that, they quit. Not because their dream was impossible, but because they gave it away too soon. They showed it to people who were not ready to see it. But I have also seen people who stayed silent. They worked in secret. They grew step by step. They fell, but no one saw. They cried, but no one knew. They rose again and again, and their silence gave them strength. And then, one day, the world looked at them with surprise. People said, "When did this happen? How did you do this?" And their only answer was the truth. I worked when no one was watching. I kept my dream safe in silence. Let this truth sink into your heart. You do not need everyone to understand. You do not need everyone to agree. You do not need everyone to clap. What you need is to keep walking. What you need is to believe when no one else does. What you need is to protect your dream until it is strong enough to protect itself. Think of silence as a garden wall. Behind it, your dream can grow. Behind it, your work can bloom. The wall keeps out the people who would pull the flowers before they are ready. The wall keeps out the voices that would crush the roots before they go deep. One day, when your garden is full of color and strength, you can open the gate and show the world, but not before, not when the seeds are still soft, not when the roots are still shallow. This is why you must be patient. This is why you must trust the process. Do not rush to prove yourself. Do not rush to explain yourself. The people who need to see will see. The people who need to know will know. And by then, your dream will be too strong for their doubt. Remember this powerful line. Silence is not hiding. Silence is building. Silence is not fear. Silence is focus. Silence is your private space where you become stronger than anyone imagined. So the next time you feel the need to tell the world what you are doing, hold back. Breathe. Ask yourself, will telling them make me stronger or weaker? If the answer is weaker, keep quiet. Trust yourself. Trust your silence. Trust your path. Because one day, your success will make the noise that no voice of doubt can silence. Chapter 5. There is a reason why many successful people say very little. They do not talk about what they are building. They do not announce every step they take. They understand that words are cheap, but energy is priceless. Every time you tell someone what you are doing, you give away a piece of your energy. You let them into your private world, and once they are inside, they can either lift you or pull you down. But most of the time, they pull. That is why silence is wisdom. That is why silence keeps your energy safe. I once knew a man who wanted to start a small business. He was excited, and he told everyone. He shared his idea with family, friends, even strangers. At first, they smiled, but slowly, the voices of doubt grew louder. Some told him it was too risky. Others laughed and said he was dreaming too big. Every day he heard their voices, and slowly he started to believe them. His dream became heavy. His energy disappeared. In the end, he gave up before he even started. He failed, not because his idea was bad, but because he told too many people too soon. I also knew another man. He had the same dream, but he stayed quiet. He worked silently. He did not tell anyone. He just kept moving, step by step. He failed many times, but no one knew. He cried many nights, but no one saw. And then one day, he succeeded. People were shocked. They asked, "When did you do this? How did you do this?" And he smiled because his silence had protected him. His silence gave him space to grow. This is the choice you must make in your own life. Do you want to waste energy defending your dream to doubters? Or do you want to save that energy to build it? Do you want to explain yourself to people who do not care? Or do you want to prove yourself through your results? The answer is clear. Your silence is your best friend. Think about this. A tree makes no sound when its roots grow underground. It grows silently, reaching deeper and deeper, building strength where no one can see. Only when it is ready does it rise above the soil, tall and unshakable. If a tree tried to shout while it was still growing roots, the wind would destroy it. But because it stayed silent, it became strong. You are like that tree. You need time in silence to build roots. You need privacy to grow strong before you show the world your power. There will always be people who want to see you fail. There will always be people who cannot stand to see you rise higher than them. Some will be strangers. Some will be close to you. And the truth is hard. Sometimes even family will doubt you. Sometimes even friends will laugh at you. But remember this: their doubt does not define you. Their words do not control your destiny, unless you give them the chance. Unless you hand them the power by telling them everything. Do not let their voices become your prison. Do not let their laughter become your chains. Protect yourself with silence. Work in peace. Work without noise. And let your success become the sound that answers all questions. Your dream is not something to throw into the crowd. Your dream is a gift. Your dream is a light. Not everyone deserves to see it while it is still small. Not everyone deserves to touch it while it is still fragile. Keep it inside you. Hold it with care. Nurture it with action, not words. And when it becomes strong, it will shine on its own. Always remember this truth: people cannot stop what they cannot see. If they do not know, they cannot fight it. If they cannot see it, they cannot touch it. If they cannot touch it, they cannot break it. Silence makes you untouchable. Silence makes you unstoppable. So today, decide. Decide to protect your dream. Decide to stop wasting words on people who will never understand. Decide to let your actions speak for you. Because in the end, silence is not weakness. Silence is your greatest strength. Chapter 6. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that everyone wants them to win. It feels good to believe it. It feels safe to think that every friend, every family member, every person who smiles at you also wants to see you succeed. But life teaches us something different. Some people want you to stay the same. Some people are only comfortable when you are not growing. Because if you grow, it reminds them that they did not. If you rise, it forces them to face their own fears. That is why when you tell them what you do, they respond with doubt, with judgment, or with silence that feels heavy. I remember a young woman who wanted to be a writer. Her dream was pure. Her passion was real. She told her friends with excitement. She expected their joy, but instead, they laughed. They told her it was impossible. They told her nobody makes money from writing. They told her she was wasting her time. Their words crushed her heart. For weeks, she stopped writing. She carried their voices inside her. Every time she picked up her pen, she remembered their laughter. That is the power of telling the wrong people what you do. Their doubt becomes your shadow. But then she made a new choice. She stopped talking. She started working in silence. She wrote every night when no one was watching. She filled page after page, word after word. No one knew. No one doubted. No one laughed. And when she finally finished her first book, she held it in her hands with pride. She had done it not because people believed in her, but because she protected her dream from their poison. Her silence gave her strength. This is the lesson. Your dream does not need to be fed by people's words. It does not need their approval. It only needs your action. It only needs your discipline. It only needs your love. Every time you tell someone, you give them power. You give them the chance to feed your dream or poison it. And too often they choose poison. That is why silence is your shield. Think about how a diamond is formed. It is created deep in the earth, under pressure, in silence, in darkness. No one sees it while it is forming. No one claps for it while it is becoming strong. But when it finally comes to the surface, it shines so bright that the world cannot ignore it. Your dream is like that diamond. It needs time and silence. It needs to be hidden until it is ready to shine. When you keep quiet, you are not being secretive. You are being wise. You are not running from people. You are protecting yourself. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence gives you freedom to fail without shame and to rise without fear. And when the time comes, your success will be the loudest sound in the room. There will be moments when you feel like telling someone, when your heart is so full that you want to share it. But pause. Ask yourself, does this person want me to win? Will this person hold my dream gently, or will they crush it with careless words? If you are not sure, stay quiet. Protect yourself, because your dream is too important to risk. I want you to repeat this truth to yourself. Not everyone deserves to know my path. Not everyone deserves to hear my story. Not everyone deserves to touch my dream. Only I know the value of what I am building. Only I can protect it. Only I can make it real. So let your silence become your power. Let your actions become your voice. Let your results become the proof. One day, the same people who doubted you will stand in front of you shocked. They will ask how you did it. And you will smile, because you will know the answer. You did it by working quietly. You did it by protecting your fire. You did it by refusing to tell people what you do. Chapter 7. There is a secret you must understand about people. Many are not listening to you because they care. They are listening to compare. When you tell them what you do, they place it against their own life. If your dream looks bigger than theirs, they feel small. If your path looks harder than theirs, they feel weak. And when people feel small or weak, they often respond with doubt, jealousy, or negativity. They may not say it directly, but you can feel it in their words, their tone, their eyes. That is why silence protects you. That is why you must guard your dream like treasure. I once heard a man say, "Never tell people your plans. Show them your results." At first, I thought it was just a nice quote. But as I grew, I saw the truth in it. Every time I shared my goals, I received more doubt than support. Every time I explained myself, I gave away my strength. But when I stayed quiet and worked in silence, people could no longer doubt my words. They had to face my results. And results are louder than any argument. Imagine building a house. If you tell people while the bricks are still being placed, they will laugh. They will say, "It looks too small. It looks too weak. It will never stand." And their voices will enter your mind. But if you build it in silence, brick by brick, no one sees the weak stage. They only see the finished house. They cannot laugh at what is already standing. They cannot doubt what is already real. Your dream is like that house. In the beginning, it looks small. In the beginning, it looks weak. And if you let others see it too early, they will tell you it will never stand. But if you protect it, if you build quietly, then one day the same people will walk by and admire what you have created. They will ask, "How did you do it?" And you will know the answer. You did it because you stayed silent when it mattered most. Silence gives you freedom. When no one knows, you do not carry their doubts. When no one knows, you do not feel their judgment. You are free to fail without shame. You are free to rise without fear. And every time you rise, you grow stronger. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of power. Think about the strongest warriors in history. They never told the enemy their next move. They never shouted their plans across the battlefield. They moved quietly, carefully, wisely. And when the time came, they struck with force. That is why they won. You must do the same with your life. Stop telling people what you will do. Stop giving them the map to your success. Keep it hidden. Keep it safe. And when the time comes, let your victory speak for you. There is another truth you must remember. Not everyone wants to see you lose, but not everyone wants to see you win either. Some people only want to see you stay the same. They want you to remain where you are. Because if you rise, It reminds them that they have not moved. So when you tell them your plans, they will try to keep you down, not because they hate you, but because your growth scares them. That is why your silence is not just about protection. It is about respect for yourself. You respect your dream enough to keep it safe. You respect your future enough to guard it. You respect your soul enough to not hand it over to careless voices. This respect is what makes you strong. This respect is what makes you unstoppable. So, from today, remember this. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to tell people what you do. Your life will speak for you. Your work will prove everything. Your success will become your loudest voice. And when that day comes, no one will laugh. No one will doubt. No one will question. They will see. And seeing is stronger than hearing. Protect your dream. Protect your silence. And let your results roar louder than any words you could ever speak. Chapter 8. There is a power in mystery. People respect what they cannot fully see. They wonder, they question, they imagine. And in that mystery, your strength grows. But when you tell people everything about what you do, you give away that mystery. You make yourself open to every opinion, every doubt, every careless word. And little by little, your energy is stolen. That is why silence makes you powerful. That is why keeping your plans hidden is one of the smartest choices you can make. I remember watching someone who always spoke loudly about their dreams. Every time they had a new idea, they told the world. At first, people listened. They nodded. They asked questions. They pretended to care. But as time passed, nothing happened. The dream was always in words, never in results. Slowly, people stopped listening. They stopped taking this person seriously. His words had no weight because there was no action behind them. This is the danger of talking too much. Words without action make you weak in people's eyes. Then I saw another person, very quiet, always working, always moving silently. They never explained what they were doing. They never asked for applause. But one day, everyone saw the results, and the respect was instant. People could not ignore it. They could not doubt it, because the results were real. That is the difference. Silence protects you until your work is strong enough to speak for itself. You must decide what kind of person you want to be. Do you want to be the one who talks loudly but has nothing to show? Or do you want to be the one who works silently and shocks the world with results? The second choice is harder, but it is the path of real strength. It is the path of winners. Silence also gives you peace. When you are not busy explaining yourself, you can focus on growing. When you are not trying to convince others, you can spend that time convincing yourself. And the truth is, the only person who needs to believe in your dream is you. Not your friends, not your family, not strangers on the street. You. Because when you believe, you move forward. And when you move forward, you succeed. Think of a mountain climber. If he shouted at every step, telling the world how high he was going, people would laugh when he slipped. People would doubt when he rested. People would question if he could ever reach the top. But if he climbs in silence, no one sees the struggle. No one hears the fear. No one knows the pain. And when he finally stands at the peak, the whole world looks up in respect. That is the beauty of silence. Do not give people the chance to measure your steps. Do not give them the chance to count your failures. Fail in silence. Rise in silence. Grow in silence. And let the world see only the finished mountain you have climbed. Here is something very important to remember. People often forget what you say, but they never forget what you do. Words fade. Actions remain. If you spend your time talking, people will forget. But if you spend your time building, people will remember forever. So ask yourself, do I want to be remembered for words or for results? You are stronger than you think. You do not need the world to clap for you now. You do not need people to cheer for you. What you need is to protect your path, to work daily, to keep moving, even when no one is watching. Because in the end, they will see. They will respect. They will remember. So today, promise yourself this. I will not waste my energy on empty words. I will not throw my dream into the hands of doubters. I will not explain myself to people who do not care. I will keep my silence. I will keep my power. I will let my results do the talking. And when the time comes, my success will shine so bright that no one will ever doubt me again. That is the gift of silence. That is the reward of never telling people what you do. Chapter 9. There is something powerful that happens when you stop telling people what you do. You begin to hear your own voice more clearly. When you are always speaking about your dreams to others, you become lost in their opinions. You hear their doubts. You hear their fears. You hear their judgments. And little by little, your own voice becomes quiet. You stop listening to yourself. You forget why you started. But when you choose silence, you make space for your heart to speak again. You make space for your soul to guide you. I once knew a man who told everyone about his goals. Every time he had a new idea, he shared it with his friends. At first, they clapped. They said, "That sounds great." But then they asked, "When will you do it? Why are you not finished yet?" Their questions turned into pressure. Their pressure turned into stress. Soon he was working, not for himself, but to prove something to them. He lost his joy. He lost his peace. And in the end, he quit. Not because he could not succeed, but because he was carrying the weight of too many voices. But I also knew another man. He spoke very little. When people asked him what he was doing, he smiled and said, "I am working on myself." That was all. He gave no details. He gave no explanation. He kept his path private, and because of that, he stayed calm. He worked with peace. He moved forward at his own pace. And one day his success was so big that nobody could question him. His silence gave him freedom. That is what I want you to understand. Talking gives away your freedom. Silence protects it. Talking invites pressure. Silence removes it. Talking puts your dream into the hands of others. Silence keeps it in your heart where it belongs. Think about a bird learning to fly. If everyone is watching, the bird becomes afraid. Every fall feels embarrassing. Every mistake feels heavy. But if the bird practices alone, it can fall 100 times without shame. It can rise again and again until its wings are strong. You are like that bird. You need a safe space to practice. You need silence to grow your wings. Do not give that away by telling the world too soon. There is also a deeper truth. People love to talk, but few love to act. When you share your plans, some people will try to compete with you. Some will copy you. Some will even hope you fail so they can feel stronger. And suddenly your dream is no longer pure. It is no longer yours alone. It becomes a game in the minds of others. That is why silence is your shield. It keeps your dream pure. It keeps your focus strong. You must learn to be comfortable with not explaining yourself. You must learn to smile and say nothing. At first, it will feel strange. At first, it will feel like hiding. But soon you will feel the power. Soon you will feel the freedom. Because silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. Silence is control. Remember this. Results are louder than words. When you succeed, you will not need to speak. Your life will show it. Your results will speak louder than any explanation you could ever give. And those who doubted you will have nothing to say. So keep your dream close. Protect it. Nurture it. Work for it in silence. And when the time is right, let your success shine so bright that no one can ignore it. Silence is not your prison. Silence is your power. Use it wisely. Respect it deeply. And never forget, the less you tell people what you do, the more energy you will have to actually do it. Chapter 10. There is one truth that many people never realize. Every time you speak about your dream, you lose a little bit of its power. Words are easy. Words flow fast. But dreams are fragile. They need care. They need silence. When you speak too soon, your dream begins to escape through your lips. You give it away before it is ready. And once it is out in the open, it becomes food for the opinions of others. That is why you must learn to hold it close. That is why you must learn to let your actions, not your words, carry your story. I remember a young man who wanted to change his life. He told everyone he was going to work hard. He told everyone he was going to succeed. His words were full of fire. But over time, he stopped moving. He thought the talking was enough. He thought the applause from others was enough. His dream died, not because he was weak, but because he gave it away through words instead of protecting it through action. Then I met another man. He said nothing. He kept working in silence. Every day he took one small step. Every night he worked quietly. Nobody knew his plan. Nobody saw his struggle. And then, one day, his results were so strong that people could not ignore him. They respected him because his work spoke louder than any speech. His silence was his power. This is the lesson. Talking can trick your mind. When you tell people your goal, you feel a small burst of pride. It feels as if you have already achieved something. But that feeling is false. It is a trap, because the joy of speaking steals the hunger for action, and slowly you stop moving. That is why silence is not only protection from others. Silence is protection from yourself. Silence keeps you hungry. Silence keeps you focused. Silence keeps you moving. Think of an athlete preparing for a race. If he announces to the world, "I will win," the world begins to watch. Every eye is on him. Every fall becomes shame. Every mistake becomes heavy. But if he trains quietly, no one knows when he stumbles. No one laughs when he is tired. He is free to fail, free to grow, free to rise again. And when he finally runs and wins, his result says everything. That is the beauty of working in silence. You must understand something very important. People will not always clap for you. Some will doubt. Some will laugh. Some will secretly hope you fail. And if you tell them your dream too soon, you give them a chance to place their fears inside your mind. But if you stay silent, if you keep your dream hidden, they cannot touch it. They cannot stop it. They cannot break it. I want you to imagine your dream as a flame in your hands. If you hold it in the open wind, it may die. If you place it in careless hands, they may drop it. But if you guard it close to your heart, it will grow. It will burn brighter. It will give you strength in the darkest nights. Protect your flame. Do not give it away through words. Let it burn in silence until it becomes a fire too big to hide. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is full of growth. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. It is the place where you grow in peace. It is the space where you turn dreams into reality. And when the time comes, your silence will end. Not because you spoke, but because your results shouted louder than you ever could. So today, promise yourself, I will not give away my dream too soon. I will protect my energy. I will keep my silence. And I will let my results tell the story that my words never could. That is the true meaning of power. That is the secret of never telling people what you do. Chapter 11. There is a special kind of peace that comes when you stop explaining yourself to people. You feel lighter. You feel stronger. You no longer need to wait for their approval. You no longer need to fight their doubts. You are free. And this freedom is powerful because it allows you to focus only on your dream. It allows you to put all your energy into building instead of defending. When you do not tell people what you do, you protect your peace, and peace is the soil where greatness grows. I once met a young woman who wanted to change her life. She had a vision, a clear goal in her heart, but she kept telling people. She told her family, and they laughed. She told her friends, and they doubted. She told strangers, and they judged. Each time she explained herself, she felt weaker. Each time she listened to their words, her fire grew smaller. And one day, she felt like giving up. Not because she lacked strength, but because she gave her strength away to people who did not deserve it. But then she decided something new. She stopped talking. She stayed quiet. She worked in silence. At first, it was hard. She wanted to share. She wanted to be understood. But slowly, she felt peace. Slowly, she felt strength returning to her heart. She no longer needed applause. She no longer needed approval. She began to walk with confidence, not because others believed in her, but because she believed in herself. And when her results came, they were undeniable. The same people who doubted her were shocked. They respected her because she let her work speak louder than words. This is the power of silence. It takes away the need for approval. It frees you from the prison of people's opinions. It allows you to build your life without fear. You must understand, when you live for people's approval, you die from their rejection. But when you live for your dream, their opinions cannot touch you. Think about a seed planted in the ground. It does not shout. It does not explain. It simply grows. Slowly. Quietly. Secretly. And one day, it becomes a tree. Strong. Unshakable. Full of life. The people who once saw nothing are now standing in its shade. That is how your dream should grow. Not through words, but through action. Not through explanation, but through proof. Many people will ask you, "What are you doing?" They will want to know your plan. They will want to measure your progress. But you do not owe them answers. You do not owe them your soul. You can smile and say, "I am working on myself." That is enough. You do not need to open the door of your heart for everyone who knocks. Some people are not visitors. Some people are thieves. They do not come to build you up. They come to take away your belief. And once your belief is gone, your dream is gone. That is why silence is protection. Let me tell you something very important. Your belief is the most valuable thing you have. If you lose money, you can earn it again. If you lose time, you can try to make more of it. But if you lose belief, you lose everything. Because belief is the fuel of action. Belief is the fire that makes you move. If people take it from you with their words, you will stop before you even start. So protect it. Guard it. Keep it safe inside you with silence. The world does not need more talkers. The world needs more doers. Talkers impress for a moment. Doers inspire for a lifetime. If you talk, people may forget. But if you do, they will remember. So choose to be the one who acts, not the one who explains. Choose to be the one who builds, not the one who only talks about building. And one day, your silence will break in the most beautiful way. Not with words, but with results. Your success will be your loudest voice. Your life will be your answer. And people will not be able to deny what they see. That is the moment when you will understand why silence was your best choice. So protect your peace, protect your energy, protect your dream. Say less, do more, and let your life become the proof that silence was never weakness, but always power. Chapter 12. There comes a moment in life when you realize that your silence is not empty. Your silence is full of power. It is full of growth. It is full of strength that nobody can see, but you can feel it inside your heart. This is why you must learn to keep quiet about your plans. This is why you must understand that your journey is not for everyone to know. Some journeys are meant to be walked in peace, without noise, without distraction, without the weight of other people's opinions. I remember watching a young boy who wanted to become an artist. His dream was pure. He wanted to paint. He wanted to create. He wanted to bring color into the world. At first, he told people about it. They laughed. They said, "You cannot make a life out of art. You will never succeed." Their words broke his spirit. For months, he did not paint. Every time he looked at a canvas, he heard their voices. Every time he picked up a brush, he remembered their laughter. His silence was forced by their judgment. But later, he made a decision. He told no one anymore. He worked alone in his room. He painted in silence. He created night after night, with no one watching, no one clapping, no one doubting. Slowly, he found peace again. Slowly, he found strength. His art became better, stronger, brighter. Years later, people saw his work and were amazed. They asked, "Where did this come from?" And his answer was simple. It came from silence. This is what I want you to feel in your heart. Silence is not nothing. Silence is the place where greatness is born. It is the soil where your roots grow deep. It is the space where you practice, fail, rise, and grow without fear. When nobody knows your plan, nobody can judge your steps. When nobody sees your work, nobody can steal your energy. You are free. And freedom is the greatest gift for a dreamer. The world is full of noise. People talk all the time. They give opinions without knowledge. They give advice without wisdom. They judge without understanding. If you throw your dream into that noise, it will drown. But if you keep your dream in silence, it will rise above the noise one day, and it will shine. Think of the sun before dawn. Nobody sees it. The world is dark, but slowly, quietly, the light begins to grow. And then, all at once, the sun rises, and nobody can ignore it. Your dream must rise like the sun, quiet in the beginning, powerful in the end. You must also remember that not everyone deserves access to your soul. Your dream is part of your soul. If you tell the wrong people, you give them keys to your inner world. Some will use those keys to break your spirit. Some will use them to chain you down. That is why silence is your protection. That is why silence is your strength. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. You can talk, or you can do. You can share, or you can build. You can seek approval, or you can create results. Talking may feel easier, but it makes you weaker. Doing may feel harder, but it makes you stronger. Results are born in silence, not in noise. So today, ask yourself, do I want to impress people with words or inspire them with results? Do I want to explain myself or do I want to build myself? Do I want to talk about my dream, or do I want to live my dream? Your answer will decide your future. Silence will feel strange at first. You will want to share. You will want to explain. But if you stay patient, you will feel the peace. You will feel the power. And when the time comes, your silence will break with the sound of your success. That success will be louder than any words you could ever say. So keep your dream safe. Protect it with silence. Work every day with discipline. And trust that one day your results will be so bright that nobody will be able to doubt you again. Chapter 13. There is a moment in life when you finally understand why silence is so powerful. It is the moment when you look back and realize that the best things you built were built in private. The best changes in you happened when nobody was watching. The biggest growth inside you happened when you kept your mouth closed and your heart open. That is why never telling people what you do is not weakness. It is strength. It is the hidden power that guides winners, dreamers, and builders. People will always ask, "What do you do?" It is their way of measuring you. But you do not owe them your truth. You do not owe them your dream. You do not owe them your soul. What you owe yourself is peace. What you owe yourself is focus. What you owe yourself is the chance to grow without their judgment. Silence gives you that chance. Silence creates that space. Silence protects you from the noise of the world. I once knew a man who spoke loudly about his dreams. Every room he entered, he wanted people to know his goals. At first, people clapped, but when nothing happened, their claps turned to whispers. Their whispers turned to laughter. Their laughter turned to disrespect. He gave them too much. He gave them everything, but he had no results to show. His words destroyed him before his failures did. And I knew another man who stayed silent. He worked daily. He failed daily. He rose daily. Nobody saw. Nobody laughed. Nobody doubted. Years later, he stood with success so bright that no one could ignore it. People asked, "How did you do it?" And he smiled, because he knew the truth. He did it with silence. This is the choice you must make. Do you want to waste your fire on words? Or do you want to save your fire for action? Do you want to share your dream with doubters? Or do you want to guard it until it is too strong to break? Do you want to impress people with noise? Or do you want to inspire them with results? Think of water flowing under the ground. It is unseen, unheard, unnoticed, but it keeps moving. It keeps flowing. And one day, it breaks through as a river, strong and unstoppable. That is how your dream must move. Quiet at first, powerful at last. Do not let your energy escape in words. Let it grow in silence. Let it rise in action. Let it shine in results. And remember, the world does not need to know everything about you. The world does not need to hear every plan. The world does not need to see every step. What the world needs is the final version of your greatness. What the world needs is your success, not your explanation. What the world needs is your proof, not your promises. So live quietly, work daily, protect your dream, guard your belief, hold your vision close to your heart. Do not let careless voices steal it. Do not let doubters poison it. Do not let noise distract you. Your silence is your gift. Your silence is your shield. Your silence is your secret weapon. And one day, when your results are ready, you will not need to speak. You will not need to explain. You will not need to defend. Your life will be your voice. Your results will be your shout. Your success will be the answer to every question. So never tell people what you do. Let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them wait. And when the time comes, let your success speak louder than your words ever could. That is the true meaning of power. That is the real beauty of silence.